does Allah know what Allah? How does Allah know that His knowledge is true? Yeah, or is the truth? And I said that one of His other attributes is that He is the truth. It's haqq.
Circular.
It's not circular because He is al-haq. Everything that. So let me ask you a question. Let me put it in a human language for you, right?
You know what a circular argument is.
It's not circular.
That's the worst.
Let me explain.
I'm sorry.
Say for example, if you have a sun, you know the sun, yeah, or a light. Let's say a candle. You say, how does a candle emit light? I say because its essence is light. Yes. So I'm saying to you that what Allah emanates is truth because He is the truth. That's one of His intrinsic attributes.
You realize what a bad explanation that is of why a candle emits light? A candle emits light because of the emission of photons.
Yeah, fine, but that's part of its intrinsic attributes, right?
Atoms.
No, you're going into a naturalistic.
Agreed. Naturalistic what? That's an explanation.
Good, it's a good explanation.
You could actually answer every question ever posed to you. Literally every single question.
But would you agree with me?
That's part of its essence. And I'm like, gee, Mohammed,
so,
thank
for example,
if
you have a son.
So you've told me nothing.
But you're saying, how does it operate? We don't know how it operates.
Okay, but that's the answer.
Yeah, that's the answer.
So the point is, you have no idea how Allah knows.
Well, we don't know how
Allah knows is true.
No, hold on. No. That's a different question.
No, you said you have no idea how it
No.
operates.
I said the operation of the. Let me explain. For example, we know that Allah has certain attributes. Yeah.
Well, you don't know this, right? Because you don't even know how it works.
Let me explain. Some of the attributes of God are that He's knowledgeable, that He's the truth. Yeah. So by extension, just like a light, just like the sun is made up of hydrogen and it emits hydrogen, it emits through its rays. The sun and the rays, the sun causes
emits radiation.
Yeah.
Hydrogen.
Okay, fine. But no problem. Yeah.
It emits light.
Yeah, it emits light. So how does it emit the light? Because it possesses it in the first place. Yes?
No, that's not why it emits light. But never mind.
Yeah, no problem. But that's the same idea.
Let's just say that you're saying it's an essential property of it.
Yes.
Yes, but that's a circular argument.
But you're asking the question was how does it operate?
No.
Yeah,
the question is very simple. It's how does Allah know that Allah's knowledge is correct, right? And so you're saying we don't know.
No, we're saying that.
No, you just said
we don't know. We don't know how the operation of Allah's knowledge is.
If you don't know, why on earth do you?
Yeah, that's the fallacy of incredulity. That's the fallacy of ignorance. That's argument for ignorance. That's the fallacy.
It's like you can say that, you can make the same argument for a supernaturally, omniscient pizza. You just say that's an attribute of the pizza. You can say the Bible is true because the Bible is true.
That's a false analogy.
No, it's exactly the same analogy. You're saying it's one of its attributes.
Wait, hold on.
I'm saying, Muhammad, how does this work?
No, hold on.
And you're like,
you just said, this is what you said, right? You said you got an omnipotent pizza.
I said, no, I didn't. I said you could make exactly the same argument.
No, you can't.
For anything.
No, you can't.
By saying it's one of its properties.
If you say the pizza is omnipotent, that's a contradiction in
one of its
itself.
properties.
Hold on. If you say the pizza is omnipotent, that's
I said omniscient.
Omniscient, fine.
I said that's one of its properties.
Whether it's omnipotent or omniscient, if you attach any omni properties to a pizza, that's demonstrably falsifiable.
You don't know that. It's one of its attributes.
No. I can actually disprove that.
You can't actually.
Yes, I can.
No, you can't.
Yes, I can.
You can't.
If you say that the pizza has.
You don't actually deal in disproofs. But the point is this. Let's
No.
That gets back to the topic.
Sorry. You said no. Run away from this, please. You said that the pizza is omniscient.
I'm not running away. You've just made a circular argument.
You said the pizza is omniscient.
The foundation of your
how
religion.
can a pizza be omniscient or have any omni properties?
I'm pointing out the reductio of your response.
A pizza cannot have any omni properties.
How does Allah know that what he knows is correct?
Does a pizza, is it possible in your mind?
Let's not talk over each other, so I'll let you finish.
Is it possible in your mind that a pizza can have any omni properties?
It's called a reductio. Do you know what that is?
I'm asking you a simple question, which is yes or no.
Do you know what a reductio is?
With all due respect, my question is simple. Is it possible in your mind that a pizza can have any omni properties?
It's not the point of the argument.
No.
Right?
I'm asking you a question.
Saying that it could be made. Right?
I'm asking you one question. Look, with all due respect, I've answered all your questions.
I'm answering.
Do you want a pen? Do you want to write this down?
I'm answering.
All right. So let me give you a pen. Let me give you a pen. Can we write this down for him? Because he needed me to write the question down. Have you got a paper, my friend?
Paper? No.
Has anyone got a paper?
I can't write.
Yeah. Can someone provide a paper from that? I think you might have. No?
You make a fool of
Yes.
yourself.
No, hold on. Sorry.
Let's say you-
No, let me write it down for you, all
I
right?
find it.
Is it possible, yes, that a
It's
pizza,
not being able to answer my question.
I'm asking you the
Is
question,
correct response
can
to
have
that to develop a fictitious question?
omni properties? No,
Which
you
you
made the
hope I
claim.
can't answer.
You made the claim.
You're the one making the claim.
Hold on, it's on,
But
it's
you
on,
just
it's
told
on
me that
there.
You don't know how
You
Allah's
just said,
knowledge
you just
works.
said you could say.
I don't care about pizzas.
Hold on,
Your
you did.
whole
You're the
worldview
one
is
who.
based on Allah.
You just
And
said
you just told
pizza.
me that you don't know how his knowledge
So
works.
do you retract what you said?
Does anyone remember him saying
Oh, yeah,
that he
okay,
has no
okay.
idea
Are you a crime scene
how Allah's
investigator?
knowledge works?
Okay.
Does
All right.
anyone remember that
Thank
he
you very
said?
much. So you said, and it's on there,
Okay.
that you could say that the pizza has
I
omniscience
said
or
a
omnipotence.
reductio absurdum argument
I'm
could
asking
be
you the question.
that an attribute of a thing is
No,
this.
but you don't understand this. I've written it
I
down for you.
understand it better than you.
Is it good? Is it possible that a pizza can have any omni properties?
It's as possible.
Yes or no?
It's as possible as a being that you have no evidence for existing.
No. Yes or no?
Could
Is
have
it-
those omni
Well, we know a
properties.
pizza exists. Is it possible that a pizza can have any omni properties?
Well, you don't know every kind of pizza that might exist.
No, a
So-
pizza in
so
our
it-
definitional sense of the word, where it's dough
I'm sorry, I'm
with
talking about a
toppings.
different pizza. Different
Margarita,
pizza.
margarita.
No.
Margarita.
No, don't limit the pizza. The pizza
No,
has
no,
99 attributes.
a pizza has
I'm
doesn't have
sorry,
99
do
attributes.
not, excuse me.
So now you're
telling
defining.
me.
So yeah, now the pizza has become God, yeah.
Oh, exactly.
But
so
no-
that's
no,
the
but-
point.
no.
You can't say it's
So-
just
so-
an
so-
attribute
hold on.
because you're not answering anything.
But hey, with all due respect,
You
you said
understand.
a pizza and you went like this. A pizza.
I said I did not.
What's a
You
pizza?
ordered pizza.
What's a pizza?
I said a reductio of your argument.
Listen.
Do you know what a reductio is?
Yes.
Okay.
Yeah.
So reductio of your
Yeah,
argument.
but
when I
before you
ask
talk about reductios, I want to ask you a
I
question.
listen to you.
Can you show him that
without-
one if we
without
need it, yeah?
interrupting you.
Please,
I
yes,
listen
go ahead.
to you without interrupting you. Okay. And I simply ask you.
Yeah, well, I was the one
How,
asking you.
why are you interrupting me? I simply ask you, how does Allah know that Allah's knowledge is correct?
We don't know how Allah's knowledge
Don't
operates.
interrupt me. I did not interrupt you. In a little song and dance.
Go on.
Contain yourself. You can do that?
Yes.
Right.
Go ahead.
Okay. So you asked me, okay, or rather I asked you initially, how does Allah know that Allah's knowledge is correct? You said it's one of his attributes.
Yes.
We agree on that, right? I said saying it's one of his attributes is not answering the how question, right? Agreed.
Yeah.
And then you said, oh, we don't know.
Yeah.
And I was like, okay, that's fine. But you haven't actually explained why then you should trust it if you don't even know how it works.
Okay.
Last thing I'll say, I'll hand over to you, we're going to be civilized here, right? I said a reductio of that argument could be that you could invent any object and say it's just one of its properties.
Yeah, I
Right?
understand what you're saying, but what I'm saying to you, have you finished?
Okay, so
Go ahead.
I'm just looking for an answer
Yeah.
to the question
Yeah, okay, good.
of why you would trust Islam.
No, fine. I understand now what you're saying. In terms of howness, when it comes to any of the attributes of God, the Muslim understanding is that we don't know how any of the attributes operationalize on an essential level. We don't know how. But what we do know is, and that's what we say, the Quran says in chapter 42 verse 11, لَيْسَ كَمِثْلِهِ شَيْءٌ وَهُوَ السَّمِيعُ الْبَصِيرُ, that there's nothing like him and that he's the all-seeing, all-hearing. In other words, anything that you can conceptualize in regards to, like, for example, Allah is all-knowing, all-seeing, all-hearing, where we can see, we can hear, but our seeing and our hearing and our knowledge works in a completely different way to the way Allah's seeing, hearing, and knowledge works, which means, for us, the howness when it comes to any of Allah's attributes is something we cannot, it's unfathomable, right?
It's beyond human comprehension.
Yes, it's beyond, but the whatness is possible to understand, but the howness,
Well, it's possible to believe,
yes.
but not to understand.
Yes, but
I believe he knows everything.
Yeah, it's conceptually
And I believe that everything
conceivable.
he knows
Right.
is right, even though I have
So,
no
so,
idea
so
how
I
he
answered
could.
your, does that answer your question?
No, you've just said we don't.
But that,
you
no,
just said
that's-
humans can't understand.
Yeah, fine, good.
Right.
So, but does
And
that,
so my
yeah,
question
your
is-
question,
my-
yeah.
my question then
yeah,
would be-
yes, sir, yeah.
Right, let's say I'm Lawrence Krauss,
I don't,
right?
yeah, whoever, yeah.
No, let's say I'm Lawrence Krauss.
No
That's
problem.
a guy you know about, right? So Lawrence Krauss doesn't know explicitly how something can come from nothing, right?
Yeah.
Yet he believes it.
Yeah, but it's a,
But,
yeah. go
okay,
ahead.
so
Yeah, go.
he can just say,
Yeah, yeah.
right? Well, it's just beyond our understanding.
Yes, but his,
But
sorry, go ahead.
how are you not just?
Here's the difference. The difference is this. He's making a claim which is falsifiable, whereas I'm making a claim which is unfalsifiable. That's the difference.
That's a bad thing to be doing, right? An
No.
unfalsifiable claim.
No, it's
right?
not bad.
No, it really is. When you say
That's
I have
what you
no
think.
idea how Allah could know that everything is right.
Yes.
Right. I have no understanding of how that could be.
Yes.
All I can say is I believe it.
No. I'm saying, look, here's what I'm
just
saying.
believe it.
Let me explain the difference, if you don't
Kraus
mind.
says something better than you.
No, he doesn't.
He
He
actually does.
No, let me explain why he doesn't. He's not.
You think he just has a pure faith?
No. Let me
I
explain.
won't interrupt you.
He said that the universe came from nothing. That's not only falsifiable, but it's been falsified.
It's not falsified.
Okay, so hold on. If you make the claim that something could come from nothing, yeah, and I can disprove that claim in all of the methods of inquiry that we know how to disprove that claim on.
That's not a disproof.
No, is it? Hold on.
Epistemically,
Sorry.
Okay.
All due respect, it is a disproof because now what you're saying is you're accepting some epistemological ways of systemizing an answer over others. If I say, look, 0 plus 0 equals 0, that disproves that 0 plus 0 equals 1.
according to a certain formulation of mathematics.
Good.
But that's a formalism.
No, I understand.
That's just
But
according
what
to a certain epistemology.
Good.
His epistemology is different from yours.
No, but
right?
so he doesn't believe in this.
So a property of nothing is that it can beget something.
Yeah,
Just like a property of Allah
No.
is
There's no proof.
that he's
What's your
all-knowing.
evidence for that?
And you have no basis
Now, what's
for
your evidence for
either
that?
of these two claims.
You just said something.
You have just the belief, though.
No, but what's
That's
your
the
evidence?
difference.
No, what's your evidence for that?
Well, you just told me it's one of his attributes.
No, I'm not talking about Allah.
So I have no evidence. I have as much as you.
No.
Which is just that it's
So,
one of his
but
attributes.
your question was not how do you prove the attribute of knowledge. Your question was relating to a mechanical aspect of that knowledge.
Mechanical aspect.
No, you are asking of the howness. I'm telling you there's a different. You haven't come and asked me the question that you want to ask. You need to ask me in order for me to prove. You've asked me a question that's irrelevant to a proving discourse. Because if you came and asked me, if you don't mind, we're having an interchange. If you came and asked me, how can you prove that Allah is knowledgeable or that has this characteristic of knowledge, then I can provide proofs. But if you ask the other question is, how does Allah know? Yeah, or how does Allah know anything at all? That's a different question. I'm very open with you on the second one. How Allah knows, we say we don't know. How? The mechanics of it, we don't know how. And you can't then say, well, hold on, sorry, if you don't mind. You can't then say, well, that means to say that there's no evidence for it, because that's the fallacy of that's an argument from ignorance. You know that, yeah? It's a fallacy, right? Do you understand this point?
So, yeah, but saying that you have no way of knowing how he could know that what he knows is correct, you have no way of knowing.
No, but that's that.
Right?
Yeah, there's two things you need to separate.
I didn't interrupt you.
Yeah.
That's the bedrock of all of Islam.
No.
It is the attributes of Allah.
Yeah.
Is the bedrock
but the whatness, not the howness.
of all of Islam.
But the whatness, not the howness, though.
That's the bedrock.
The whatness, not the
hang on.
howness.
Three. I'll do it once more. Let's just get out of our system, right? That's the bedrock
The
of
what?
all of Islam.
Andrew, go on.
That's the bedrock of all of Islam, right?
Okay.
That basically that Allah has a way of knowing that everything that He knows is haq.
No, but
right?
here's what.
Is
Yeah,
it true?
okay.
Okay, come on.
Yeah, sorry. Do you want to continue talking?
So the point about
Yeah.
that is, right, that if you don't know how he could ever, that state of affairs could ever be true, right? You have no understanding how it could be true. It's just an attribute
Yes.
that comes from tradition.
No, it's not just
Right.
that. We can argue it from first principles.
Okay, then let me ask you this simple question.
Yeah.
Do you think you could prove that Allah knows everything?
Yes.
Okay. Can I answer that? You don't have enough time because you aren't infinitely, we aren't going to be here forever, and you're going to go, by the way, Robert, that like 12th millionth thing that Allah, I can prove He knows it. You can't.
Oh yeah.
You just have a small subset of like,
Yes.
He predicted some stuff. So you can't actually prove that He knows everything, and you don't know even how He could.
Okay, good.
And so the bedrock of Islam really starts to kind of like...
No, I get what you're saying. Well, here's what I would say to you. There's two things I want to say. First of all, there's a conflation here, if you don't mind me saying, between the epistemological way by which we can find out what things are, A, versus B, the ontological reality of the thing itself, B. And what I'm saying is that just because we don't know how to assess the full ontological reality of a thing, quantum mechanics being an example, like we don't have a theory which kind of combines between micro and macro sciences right now. But let me just finish. No, we don't. We don't.
We do. But never mind.
Okay, well,
I don't want to distract.
Can
But I
bring
get
your,
your
you
point.
can bring your evidence for that. But then we don't have. In the philosophy of science, there's different perspectives. I don't want to go into it. There's fundamentalism,
I'm not much more
foundationalism.
about it than you. Don't worry about it.
You might not.
It's fine.
I don't know. You might do. You know, and if you do, you can teach me.
The whole point is
Yeah, you
about
can teach
the
me.
ontology is different from
Yeah.
basically-
So
I
the
understand.
whole point is this: is that models and theories, even in the philosophy of science, as you know more than me, yeah, as you, I'm sure, are always going to be limited. Do you understand? So that doesn't mean that things don't exist in the real world unless you're an anti-realist, right? What I'm saying is that even if you are an anti-realist from that philosophy of science or an idealist, it doesn't mean to say that you can divide now and say, look, just because X is unknowable is untrue. That's a fallacy. You have to
I
understand
didn't
that.
say it's untrue. I'm just saying, how can you know it's true, which is different.
No,
right?
fine.
If I'd come and said,
No,
if
not
I'd
true.
said
You said
to
how.
Look,
You said
I
how.
can falsify Islam. I've got it. It's over. Right? Then you'd have a case.
No, but what I'm
I
saying-
didn't try
but
and
you
do
are
that.
asking me about the howness,
I'm
right?
asking you how you make the positive case.
But you're asking, yeah.
And your answer to the positive case is it's just an attribute.
No. You
We
weren't
cannot
asking me about how to make a
know
positive
how
case.
it's operationalized.
You were asking me how it works.
That's the positive case for Islam. Right?
That's not a positive case
The
for
positive
Islam.
case for Islam is that
According to
Allah
you.
has these attributes.
But that's according
right?
to you.
And these attributes are true.
Yeah.
And they define all of reality. Right?
No,
so
not
that's
really.
the basic case.
Here's what
right?
can I-
Okay, let me finish.
Yes,
I
go ahead.
did.
Go ahead.
Okay. So
But that's not true.
I
Yeah.
asked you how you cash that out, right? And you said two things. You said the first thing is it's just an attribute. It's just an attribute,
It's
and we must
necessary.
admit we don't know how it's operationalized.
Yes.
And then I said, can you prove that he knows everything? You said yes. Then we found out you couldn't really.
No, you asked me to
But
do
you
it, then
could-
you didn't give me a chance.
Okay. So you actually do think you can prove that Allah knows everything?
Yes.
Okay, great. Go ahead. Yeah.
Okay. First of all, what you have to define everything. What's your definition of everything?
No, you just said yes. So I'm
No,
just
yeah,
like
no,
handing you the-
we're having that discussion now. So before, because everything is a thing, right? Or is a series of things. So I'm asking you, what's everything?
I mean, without limitation.
So everything in existence.
You're going to prove to me that Allah knows everything.
Yeah, I know, but we're having a discussion. I know you seem a little bit uncomfortable
Okay,
right now.
I'm completely comfortable, but
Okay.
let's say there's a fact.
Yes.
All right. Let's imagine that there is a finite number of facts.
Yes.
Let's imagine that there's an infinite number of facts.
Yes.
In all cases,
Yes.
you can prove that Allah knows them all. Right.
Yes.
That's it. Go ahead.
Okay. So my proof is as follows, yeah. My proof that God or Allah is that, first of all, that He is a necessary being and that He knows everything, first requires me to prove that He's a necessary being. And I'll say that they're inextricable things. So if you want me to prove the secondary thing, you have to allow me to prove the first thing. And my proof for showing that He's a necessary being is as follows. Necessary being, in my definition, is that He's the uncaused foundation, or if you like, the uncaused foundation of all things that exist. Yeah? How is that the case? I say that must be attested to for two primary reasons. Number one, there cannot be an infinite regress of causes, and or number two, there cannot be an infinite regress of dependent things. So
Okay,
because
you're going to make the ontological argument. I know.
not really an ontological, it's more of a contingency argument. But what I was going to say was that because there cannot, because A, you allowed me to, I'm proving, right? Because A, there cannot be an infinite regress of causes, and B, that there cannot be an infinite regress of dependent things. Therefore, there must be a necessary existence. The necessary existence, by definition, is where all the dependent things and all the causes depend upon something else for its existence, which is independent and is self-sufficient. Otherwise, A, there would be an infinite regress of causes, or B, there would be an infinite, or B, there would be an infinite regress of dependent things. So because of the absurdity and impossibility of A and or B,
Okay.
there has to be a necessary existence.
Okay.
So far, are we on the same page?
No.